What's up, guys? Chris here to give my try to keep brief afterthoughts on last night's boxing HBO Showtime doubleheaders. I had to come home and watch these on DVR. Man, I was up late watching them, but definitely well worth it, particularly the HBO fights. Gonna start off with Ortiz Peterson. That was the first fight I saw. Early on, it looked like Victor Ortiz was gonna get Lamont out of there. It looked like he was a lot bigger man. He weighed in a lot heavier. Night of the fight. And looked a lot stronger, looked a lot more physical in there. Lamont looked a little shaky when Ortiz was putting that power on him, but and even though he knocked Lamont down, Lamont was able to survive, those rough spots early on. And then, Lamont landed a lot of a good left hand throughout, clean lefts to the head and the body, to the chin and the body, I should say. Ortiz took him well, but I wonder if that took a little something out of him, reminding him of the Maidana loss. I'm not for sure, but there were times in this fight, who's the bigger, stronger man, where he was just backing up, fighting, countering, letting Lamont be the aggressor when he really shouldn't have been doing that. He was the bigger, stronger guy, and I think when he was being the aggressor, when he was coming forward, he was having the most success. So I was surprised that he was letting Lamont do that, but for whatever reason he was, we didn't really get any answers afterwards. But Lamont definitely had his spots here and there. I thought that Victor won the majority of the fight, I think. I don't know. I wasn't really scoring the fight, in all honesty, but with the HBO announcers and the scoring by Harold Letterman and stuff, it kind of gave me the impression that Ortiz had won the fight. That's why I was surprised when it was announced a draw. But I wasn't outraged. You know what I'm saying? I picked Lamont Peterson to win this fight. Maybe that's why. But I have no qualms about the decision. If you had to give it to a winner, maybe Ortiz, but I thought Lamont fought a good fight, and I'd actually be interested in seeing a rematch. Will we get it? Who knows? But I want to see it, and I still got faith in Lamont Peterson and Victor Ortiz. I don't know, man. I really don't know about Victor Ortiz's ceiling. I'm really worried about his psychologically, how he's going to handle really rough spots against really top-notch level fighters in the future. That Maidana fight may just be a nightmare that continues to haunt him throughout his career, something he's never able to shake. Moving on to the fight of the night. By far, of all the fights I saw, UFC boxing, this was by far the fight of the night. And for myself personally, fight of the year in boxing. Amir Khan, Marcos Maidana. What, as I said on Twitter last night after watching it, what a fucking fight. This fight was fucking unbelievable. Pardon my language, man. But no, this fight was unbelievable. Honestly, I thought Khan was going to box safe. I think I said that in my prediction video. Box smart and safe. Keep the distance. Keep it on the outside. Use his speed, his reach. Just fight a smart, safe fight. Why give Maidana opportunities if you don't need to? But he was, man, that kid's hand speed and combinations in the first round. Not just the first round. When he came out just absolutely blitzing Marcos Maidana with those combinations. It looks like he was practicing on his speed bag. Damn, that kid is fast. Amir Khan, that is. And when he dropped Marcos Maidana with that body shot, now Maidana obviously was really hurt. But the fact that Roy Jones, a former fighter or a fighter that knows what it's like to deliver a shot like that, said that the fight was over, I thought, it is over. And then he got up, and I thought, Roy's like, he's not going to be able to shake that. That's going to bother him the rest of the fight. And I was thinking, yeah, it probably is going to bother him. Conor will probably go back to the body and finish his fight soon in the next few rounds. But obviously not the case, and us boxing fans should be thankful for the fact that that didn't happen. Amir Khan was definitely winning the first half of the fight, just blazing hand speed. But he wasn't staying, safe. He was getting in there. He was unloading combinations, and I wouldn't say going for the kill, but being a lot more aggressive than I thought he would be. Really enjoyed his performance early on. Not just early on, throughout the fight, but I was surprised by his performance, the way he was fighting. But I was very appreciative of watching it. Then, 6th round, Marcos Maidana starts to take over. Starts to turn things a little bit. Khan, I believe, was in the 6th round. 6th, 7th round, he's landing a lot of uppercuts in there. Amir Khan was not defending those uppercuts very well inside the clinch against the ropes. I just thought, Marcos Maidana was landing a lot of big shots, and they were starting to take their toll. They were definitely slowing Amir Khan down. Round 6 and 7, I gave it to Maidana. And it looked like the fight was turning in his favor. But then in rounds 8 and 9, Amir Khan turned it back his way. Marcos Maidana was getting tired, I guess, of having, follow Khan, and as well as the body shots that Khan was landing on him and stuff. But Rounds 8, 9, Khan was back in control, and then round 10, Maidana hurt Khan bad. And I mean, at that point, you thought that Khan was probably going to win out the fight by rounds. But when Maidana hurt him, he hurt it bad. And I really thought this is it. This is over, because Khan got hurt enough in the round that it looked like he wouldn't be able to survive. But credit to Amir Khan. That kid showed a lot of heart, a lot more heart than I think people thought that he had. People have questioned his chin and his heart, and I think there aren't any questions after this fight. But Amir Khan survived that 10th round. 11th round, I think Amir Khan won that round. 12th round was close. Maidana did a lot of work early. Khan rallied late. But end of the fight, he made it on his feet, And just an awesome fight. Just an amazing, really. I mean, this fight was over for me like at 12:30. I don't even know what time it was, but I was wide awake, very energized. And Amir Khan gets the unanimous decision, deservingly so. I don't see any controversy in the decision at all. Although I wasn't cool with that Joe Cortez taking that point for that elbow. That was kind of ridiculous, Joe Cortez's saying is, "I'm firm but unfair." I thought throughout the fight he was fair to Khan and a little bit more firm with Maidana, but it didn't really affect the outcome of the fight in my opinion. Moving on to the Showtime Bantamweight doubleheader. First fight of the night, we had Abner Mars against Vic Darchinyan. Pretty good fight. Expected a little bit better of a fight. Not to say it wasn't a good fight, but Abner Mars, unfortunately, got that big cut from the clash of heads in the first round. And that blood kind of affected him throughout the fight. I felt bad because that blood, it was a pretty big gash. But it didn't deter him. Didn't deter him from being the aggressor throughout the fight, which is kind of surprising, Usually, Vic Darchinyan's he's the boss in there, he's the bully. But Abner Mars was the one going for it a lot. I will say this, man, Abner Mars showed a hell of a chin because Vic Darchinyan landed that big left hand of his numerous times throughout the fight. You would hear it. Even the announcers would make note of it. They're like, man, you would hear him land that left hand, Vic Darchinyan, on Abner. And Abner never really got hurt from it. He did get dropped once, but in the second round, but he got up pretty quickly from that. Didn't really look even hurt at that time. As for the fight, I thought that Abner Mars was effective in coming forward a lot, going to the body a lot. Now, granted, he did get in trouble for low blows, and there were quite a few that weren't called later on in the fight. But once again, I agreed with what the referee was saying. A lot of times, Vic Darchinyan was pulling Mars' head down, which was kind of causing some of those low blows. So I didn't see anything too egregious. I know Vic Darchinyan had a lot of problems with the referee after the fight. I didn't see any real big errors on the referee's part. But that's just me. I don't know. Maybe you guys saw differently. Close fight. The one thing I didn't like about the fight, a lot more clinches. There was a lot more holding than I expected. And, the fight never got a real good flow to it. There were a lot of stops in the fight because of the clinches and stuff. So that kind of slowed the fight down. And coming off just watching Khan Maidana, it's hard to keep pace with that fight. But anyways, close fight goes to a decision. Abner Mars wins by split decision. I thought Abner Mars pulled it out. I really thought he rallied in those last few rounds. He really went for it. I thought Abner Mars really went for the win. Took the fight, stole the fight. I don't think he stole it, but I think he wanted it more. I think Vic Darchinyan, the pace and Mars' pace, putting it on him, really took it out of him late. Vic Darchinyan didn't really have much left in the last couple rounds. I thought Abner Mars pulled out a close fight. So I was cool with the decision. On to IBF Bantamweight champion Yanni Perez defending his title against Joseph Ekbeko in the rematch. This is the fight I was surprised by. I had picked Yanni Perez to win the fight. I believe I said in my prediction video that I didn't think Joseph Ekbeko could improve on his first fight, and he lost that fight. I was wrong. Joseph Ekbeko fought a lot smarter and better fight than he fought the first fight. Now, granted, Yanni Perez did not look 100%. Now, was it because Joseph Ekbeko was so much superior in his game plan and implementing it? Maybe, but even Abner Mars stated that he looked a little bit tired. The announcers noted, he had fought Silence Mabusa, 12-round fight. He had fought Ekbeko in that tough fight, and then Abner Mars, and then on to this fight. I mean, that's a tough stretch right there. That's a lot, 36 tough rounds going into this bout. So Yanni, but I mean, Joseph Ekbeko he didn't do what he did in the first fight. The first fight was so exciting because there was a lot of just toe-to-toe, back-and-forth sustained action. Joseph Ekbeko worked a lot of angles, used his jab effectively throughout the fight, landed a lot of right hands. He just did a lot of movement. He didn't stand in the pocket a lot, and he didn't need to. he was strafing Yanni Perez with that right hand all night. Credit to Yanni Perez. The guy showed a hell of a chin. I'll say that for sure. But so did Agbeco. He got caught with a few flush shots as well, and he took them as well. But Yanni Perez took a lot of punches throughout that fight and never really was ever hurt. He never stopped forward momentum. Well, a little bit in the later half of the fight. But for the most part, Yanni Perez kept marching forward. One round, I believe it was the 6th round, Joseph Agbeco actually stopped, went toe-to-toe. I don't know if it was because he was taking the round off. He was tired. He was trying to rest. But that was by far the most exciting round of the fight and the best round for Perez. It was the one round that was most reminiscent of their first fight. I thought from there on, I thought maybe Agbeco was getting tired and the rest of the fight was going to be a complete war like the first fight was. But that was not to be the case. Joseph Agbeco in the 7th round went back to what he was doing. The 6th round was one round where he didn't fight his fight and he was least effective. And from there on out, he went back to his fight and was effective once again. So, end of the night, Joseph Agbeco, he pretty much just controlled the rest of the fight. I felt bad for Yanni Perez. He never stopped trying, but Agbeco just really had his number in this fight. He really had a great game plan, and like the announcer stated, being out for a year, he hadn't fought since their last fight. No ring rust whatsoever. He just looked really sharp and really impressive. And Joseph Agbeco gets the decision and wins back his IBF title, the one that he lost to Mr. Perez. So, now we're going to have Abner against Joseph Agbeco and Vic Darchinyan against Yanni Perez. I really wanted to see Perez-Mares rematch, but looking at the way it shook out, I kind of like these matchups better in a way, I'm intrigued by Abner Joseph Agbeco, and I'm really interested in Vic Darchinyan and Yanni Perez because I think that is going to be a slugfest. I think that's going to be a really entertaining fight. Based on the way they looked last night, I would probably slightly favor Joseph Agbeco. He's obviously got the experience on Abner to win the tournament that is Joseph Agbeco. And he just looked he had a lot less problems with Yanni Perez than Abner did in their first fight. But then again, Agbeco had a lot more problems with Perez in his first fight. So, you never can say. But I'm really looking forward to the next round of this tournament. Good night of fights. Great night of fights in boxing. Great night of fights. So I just want to hear your guys' thoughts on the fights. Who do you think won Lamont Peterson versus Victor Ortiz? Did you agree with the decision in Mares Darchinyan? And, where do you see Khan going from here? It's actually a rematch with Maidana. I don't think it could live up to the first fight. And what do you think of Agbeco, Mares, Perez, Darchinyan moving forward? That's it for now, guys. I'll be talking about all these fights and more on the Science Minds Radio Show in less than an hour if you're catching this vid. 3 o'clock Pacific, 6 Eastern. Link to the show in the information part of the video, as well as a link to my Twitter. And, and if you can't catch the show live, you can always catch it later in the week on the podcast. Anytime you can, listen to it. So that's it for now, guys. Until then, I'm out.